G'day folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Protoss vs Terran game. I know we have had quite a few, Terran and Zerg games. I was about to say Turg, that's a combination for Zerg. Oh my god, I'm just constantly doing it. Let's just start the cast over again. We've got a Protoss and Terran matchup here, sent in by Sam. Thank you to Sam who sent this one over. You can do the same if you have some really cool games, really interesting ones, guys. I don't particularly have any restrictions or anything like that. I do really like them to be Masters or above is preferable, just so that the content is... So there's strategic things I can talk about. I am interested in doing possibly like some, I suppose like coaching in a way, but not necessarily your standard sort of coaching. But those sorts of videos would be cool. But generally, if you are going to send them in, please do make sure that they're at least masters, unless there's something particularly awesome. Like if there's some crazy cheese or there's some crazy stuff that happens involving, mass amounts of ridiculous units, like if there's carriers or something. Let's just say there's carriers. Maybe that's okay, but other than that, I do particularly like longer games and that kind of stuff, and all sorts of crazy little things. So, if you are going to send games in, try and make sure they are above Masters level. It's just that the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I've had a couple of replays that came through that were they were bronze games, but like they were just kind of like someone doing a 4-gate, and I was like, well, I used to cast these when 4-gate was the in thing, but not anymore. Anyway, let's quickly talk about our players, and I'll continue ranting a bit more. Up at the top left-hand side of Belshir, Vestige is our INFNA player. Our red Protoss, HearmeROAR. His opponent down the bottom right-hand side is our blue Terran player here for no clan at the moment. He's clanless. Perhaps I'll reach out and we'll get him into the Duckville team. It is BraveBOVINE. And he does have his gas relatively early. We've actually picked up quite a lot of gas already. So we may see a... we're going to get... Well, yeah, it's going to be a Marine. So there's quite the possibility of some kind of either proxy play or perhaps a Banshee. We'll see in a second. Normally you want that factory to have started by now. There you go. Alright, looks like he's going to throw that down. There goes the factory. Alright, we are good to go here. And we are going to get possibly some Banshee play coming out of BraveBOVINE. But yeah, as I was saying, thank you to Sam for sending this one in. Said I might like to have a look at this particular replay. I haven't actually had a look at this at all. This is, what is it, Friday the 6th of December, and I have just gotten to this one. Casted a couple of other games, but now have gotten to this particular one, and we'll see how it goes. Belshir has been in the map pool for quite a while. I think we're all this morning quite relieved to see that Belshir and a couple of other very tired and weary maps are finally going to be departing from the map pool in Season 1 of WCS 2014. But one thing Hidden Twilight Counselor here from HearmeROAR. He's going to be going for what looks to be, I would assume that's going to be Blink or perhaps DTs. I mean, I don't know why you'd send the probe away. Normally you sort of keep it around to get that Dark Shrine started up. But maybe it's going to be Blink, maybe it's going to be Stalkers. He does already have 2 Stalkers just about to pop out. The second one just on its way out from the gateway. And a lot of Chrono Boost saved up. Yeah, I think this is going to be a Blink play here from HearmeROAR. Of course, this map does have a little bit of an open area where you can jump in. Need a little bit of high ground vision, but you can get in here and get some damage done. But it is very dependent on having an observer, because a lot of Terran players do love grabbing their early 1 or 2 Widow Mines. And in fact, we are going to have 2 coming straight out here from BraveBOVINE, along with a second command center and a second factory. So he is going to have, well, I don't know, this could be a really interesting defense to see how this goes. Probe is now moving out. We do have Blink started up, just by the way, just in case you're wondering. That is being chrono boosted like crazy right now. We've got a lot of chrono boost left over here for HearmeROAR. He's got 4-gate or 3 extra gates, bringing us to a total of 4, just finishing up right now. A forge is also being built here as well. I can only assume this is going to be for a little bit of upgrading, and it's not necessarily for some kind of crazy cannon usage or anything like that. But BraveBOVINE, I think he did see that there are a couple of Stalkers out and is now a little bit suspicious of what's going on, and thus is going to build a bunker over here at the, just sort of off to the edge of the main base there. But BraveBOVINE is going to have a lot of this guy is cranking out those Widow Mines as quickly as he can. We can see one probe is going to come up to the top of the ramp here and is going to be completely uncontested. The Marines are going to come across and they are going to force that probe back for now. But hear me roar at this point. Like, the thing is, guys, at this point, if you are against a Terran player and you're going for Blink and you see, well, he hasn't actually expanded. He's got a bunker here. He's also got 2 factories, which is also possibly a little bit scary. You need to think about turning around and just saying, you know what, screw it. Let's just forget about this. Maybe send an observer in to try and scan out what is actually here. But there is definitely there's no need to really overcommit to this. I'm not really sure I'm happy with this decision here from Hear Me Roar. But we'll see what he gets up to, because there are going to be a couple of Widow Mines. They may be able to take a shot on these stalkers. I assume he's going to back up. I'm sure he saw at least one of those Widow Mines there in the ground. Of course, you can't really see them until they are about to fire on you, but you can see that little mark in the dirt. And yeah, he's going to build up a Nexus at the natural here. Now just going to poke around. He wants to try and get as much damage as he can with the units that he has currently. Would like to see this tank maybe move across. Of course, there is no need to really reposition too much of what's going on here for BraveBOVINE, but he does have a tank that is in range of some of the stalkers that have pushed ahead a little bit too far. But I think at this point, this is where you say, alright, I'm probably not going to get too much done. We can see that the second tank has now popped out, and Hear Me Roar is going to have to back off. He's probably not going to really find any more sweet spots to deal some damage here. But back at home, we are going to get some more probes cranking out. He's sitting here at 23 at the moment, a little bit lower than you would really want to be at this point. I seriously think that we should have stopped at maybe 6 of those stalkers. There was no need to build any more. And now, as you can see, we're just sort of bumbling around, but either way, we can certainly get some more damage done. A couple of, we've now got a total of 3 tanks out. I think the BraveBOVINE may be able to sort of move forwards here and start reclaiming his natural base, because, you know, they are only stalkers. They take that extra damage from the tanks. They get blasted apart by those Widow Mines as well if they do connect. And wow, there's so many Widow Mines out. We've got 10 Widow Mines out on the map right now for our Terran player. Now, if he is going mech, which it looks as if he is, he does have all of those tanks now popping out and so many Widow Mines. I would like to see him get a couple of Hellions out so he can possibly try and either do a little bit of a drop and just run by up to his opponent's main base, or perhaps just get some Hellbats so that he can push forwards with the tanks and actually pick up his natural base, because he really does need it. You don't want to be dropping down mules or anything like this. This is also a position where I really do think that supply drop is actually far better than mules, because you're already mining too much at this base. We've now got we've got enough tanks that we can push out. I think BraveBOVINE may certainly look for that very soon. But back at home, Hear Me Roar is getting his tech up. We've got +1 on the armor on the way. We've got the Templar Archives, a robo facility. All the nice things getting prepared. Needs a little bit of gas coming in, so we will grab. There's extra gases there at the natural as well, which will give him the added little bonus that he needs to get those extra upgrades cranking. Storm, of course, costing 200 gas. It's quite a lot. And then as you move up on the forge, so that starts to become extremely costly. So this is going to just sort of taper off for the moment here as BraveBOVINE looks to move out to control his natural base. It is going to be a little bit of a slow, cautious thing here from the Terran player. I think the decision to go for quite a lot of mines instead of getting some Hellbats out is perhaps the questionable one here. I mean, if you go up to maybe 4 or 5 mines and then you'd leave it at that, that's certainly all cool. But getting this many is well, it certainly gives you a nice explosion, but it makes it difficult to push out, because these mines are very vulnerable until they do have their drilling claws. So we can see now the BraveBOVINE is finally, he's moved a little bit. We've gotten down here, guys. It's a party down here just outside the natural, but I mean, there's not much else further than that. But Hear Me Roar is now going to establish a little bit more of his production back at home. It's at this point, I would love to see him take a 3rd base. He really doesn't need to sit too far back here and or play conservatively, because he's contained his opponent for so incredibly long. The only real thing you've got to worry about at this point are drops coming out. If he is careful about anything that pops up this way, if he sees any medevacs, he will need to deal with them swiftly. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you can expand, you can set up a second forge, you can perhaps even get a Stargate started. Some probes are a little bit, they're unhappy with their work assignments right now, so they are not going to be doing their work just for now. But, well, HearmeROAR, he has found a way into the back of the natural and is going to be able to consistently push against this command center here. I don't know. Okay, so just to give you guys some background on mech styles, there are some players like Breach HU who does play a lot more of a mine-centric style, but not to this effect. This is a lot of Widow Mines. We've got 16 Widow Mines out right now. We've got a bunch of tanks. We can see that BraveBOVINE has now finally landed his natural base. He will have to kill off these stalkers before he gets any real mining done. But now the stalkers coming along, they are going to get taken out by the Widow Mines. A couple more shots there. The tanks are going to dispose of the rest of them, and even a nice little save there, repairing up some of the tank there before it did get taken down by the stalkers. Nicely done. But yeah, we'll have to see if HearmeROAR has actually capitalized on all that time of his opponent that he ate up there, because it was certainly like we're at the 15-minute mark, and now finally our Terran player has picked up his natural base. It's certainly a long time before getting that natural up, and well, I don't know. I would. If I was BraveBOVINE right now, I'd possibly even look at pushing forwards. You've got a lot of Widow Mines. You can do a lot of damage to shield, shielded units, of course, which means that a lot of these units will get one shot. The Archons will stay alive for a little bit longer, but there are so many mines that you could possibly even start killing off Archons with mines. But the tanks will certainly do a lot of damage. I think at this point, BraveBOVINE is going to be thinking, alright, I'm possibly a little bit behind right now, but at least I'm still alive. I will need to get some damage done, though. That's what we need to see, is he needs to move out here. Looks like a War Prism is making its way through the right-hand side of the map. It is actually going to get inside, and there's no real defense here apart from Widow Mines. We'll have to see how much damage these can get done, because, of course, the Widow Mines deal splash damage. You've got to be very careful about how they attack into the Zealots here. So, BraveBOVINE has to be careful inside his main base right now, and as you can see, the Zealots are just going to come across to the side, going to lay down some pain on those supply depots, and more Zealots are now on their way inside. They are going to try and get some damage done on these tanks here. Tanks will now finally switch to siege mode and activate there. They are going to get taken out by the Zealots, so a little bit of a questionable decision here, and again, this is where I feel that our Terran player has made a bit of a mistake getting so many Widow Mines. Switching into Hellbats at this point would have been quite nice, but unfortunately he's going to have a very hard time, and even the tank gets taken out. Some friendly fire there from that Widow Mine, and the War Prism still alive and kicking. So now we do have BraveBOVINE looking to establish a third base. He will try and set this up across to the side. This has been an extremely slow game for both of these players. HearmeROAR has been a little bit busy trying to hold his opponent inside the base to be actually getting this third base up. But this should have been up a little while ago. But now we can see that BraveBOVINE finally gets his third, and then again, it gets stopped by some War Prism action here. How many Widow Mines are out? 24 Widow Mines are out on the map right now. Lots of Widow Mines, you could say. We'll see what HearmeROAR is going to be able to do here. A couple of Zealots are going to be threatening this third base. But you would expect that at this point, BraveBOVINE is going to drop down a couple more command centers and maybe build up the forces of his economy. I mean, he's still here at 63 SCVs. It's not actually too bad. It's just the problem of actually getting himself mining. We're now way over mining at this base here. Need to transfer some of those SCVs up towards the top. Tanks have come along to tank has come along to take care of this one pylon. We've got a lot of Widow Mines here just in case something fishy goes on. The Widow Mines will relocate. We do have drilling claws done, by the way. Well, of course, I mean, you play a person who's getting almost 30 Widow Mines out, he better have drilling claws, otherwise there's certainly something wrong. But BraveBOVINE has now set up the little patch of Widow Mines here, consisting of 16 of them. Or is that? Yeah. Oh, okay, there's a couple off to the side there, so this certainly could be interesting to see how this goes. A couple more, Templar are now warping in. Just interesting to see that our Protoss player, upon scouting out that his opponent has gone for this mine and tank-based style, is still going to pick up a Colossus. Now, Normally, if you're playing against mech, I would never advise Protoss players to get Colossus. They just don't do enough. It kind of depends on the composition. Like if it's heavy with Hellbats, then yeah, sure, you can grab some Colossus. But normally you do want to stick with these units, the Archons, the Zealots as well, Immortals and that kind of stuff. But as we can see, big hits from the Widowmines are actually taking out a lot of the units. But we look at a storm there on one tank. I'm not sure that was the best idea. We now get follow-up storms on all those SCVs, ripping apart the SCV line that was looking to retreat, but one Viking up in the air trying to get some more damage done. We'll see another storm drop down on top of the Widowmines and the SCVs here, but BraveBOVINE, I mean, wow, he's taken a lot of hits there, but still has a lot of SCVs available. We've got 52 in total. He's still sticking with a lot of Widowmines at the moment, still producing around about 4 at a time. So despite losing all of those, he's still got a total of 17, and more factories are now up and running. We've got a total of 9 factories. Just to keep in mind, guys, your general sort of mech, you will see the Terran player will only really be able to produce off 5, maybe 6 factories off 3 bases, because you do want to be getting some Vikings out to deal with Colossi if they are there. You want to be getting Vikings out to deal with Void Rays. And of course you want Ravens, because Ravens are part of this endgame composition here for Terran when you are going mech. So there's a bit of a quirky game at the moment. HearmeROAR has now established his 4th base. He'll need to get that up and running really quickly. We've got a few more probes that can be transferred. The main base has been mined out. Still waiting for that +3 to weapons to finish up, but he certainly has a powerful force. He just needs to make sure that he is implementing it correctly. He needs to be engaging in the correct way. He needs to be careful of these tanks. Those are like suicide tanks right now. I can just imagine Zealots charging into this and then just triggering the mines and all the tanks die, but the Zealots don't. I can tell you that that'd be pretty funny if that happened. But Work has killed 28 at the moment for HearmeROAR. He's been doing a decent job. We do have, as you can see, like this is the problem with having so many factories, is that you can't actually produce off all of them at the same time, and that also means that all of your starports can't really do much as well. And there you go, the tanks did die off. It looks as if the Templar are coming along. Colossi just burning down everything that they can see. The 3rd base, or what was almost a 4th base here for BraveBOVINE, has already been established though. So HearmeROAR is attacking with only 148 supply. I would like to see him perhaps go and wait a little bit before he gets, until he gets maxed out, because he certainly will need it to deal with, you know, the 11 billion Widowmines that are out on the map right now. But we do have some observers coming across to help out with the detection, but he needs to be careful. There's still a couple of Widowmines lurking across to the side here, and well, I mean, he's going to dance the Colossi. Okay, fair enough. And now got to move forwards, needs to be careful. A couple of Widowmines here are going to dispose of some of those units there. And now the Colossi completely unprotected. They are going to get obliterated by Vikings. And now that is going to be it here for the push of HearmeROAR. I think a little bit, just a little bit too over-aggressive there. Didn't actually realize that there was still a few more Widowmines to go, but well, as you can see, he does take out quite a few more of those SCVs, 54 killed in total. But BraveBOVINE, he's sticking with the plan at the moment. He's still just continuing to make some Widowmines here. Going to repair up some of these SCVs. And as the Zealots come in, they are going to trigger those mines. They almost kill off some more of those SCVs, but it looks as if across to the side, this one bunker that has been around for quite a while now is still alive. And I mean, well, that's what happens when you don't actually max out before you attack. And now we're going to get some more Widowmines dropping down shots here, killing off some of the Zealots. The observers are here to scout out, but they will get taken out by those Vikings of BraveBOVINE. And now we can see that, well, 2 Colossi at a time. We are going to have a second forge spinning up on the shield upgrades at the moment. The upgrades are actually sitting at a very interesting position right now. 1, 2 for BraveBOVINE. And we've also got, well, the upgrades for our Protoss are 313. So he's a bit ahead right now. We'd love to see some more coming out from BraveBOVINE, but he's just having trouble actually getting his mining consistently going. But BraveBOVINE again is now going to lose another base right now. Just can't deal with all those Zealots. They're just so powerful, and this mine-centric style is just not really going to work out as I suppose as efficiently as you would like when you normally would look at it. You say, well, they do extra damage against shields. That's kind of cool, but I mean, you know, it's hard to get it going sometimes just because of the work these Zealots can do. But here we go. some mines to clean up the remaining zealots here, and now BraveBOVINE finally will establish that base again. But now 3 Robo Colossus are now starting to come out here. Finally, some Stargates are being picked up by HearmeROAR. He got a bit aggressive there and was telling his opponent to get out, but I mean, he's consistently just throwing away units here. And now, again, the Colossi will get taken out, or at least one of them will. A few more tanks and Widow Mines are also going to be protecting this base right now. And as you can see, the Viking cloud is really starting to pick up right now. But the Vikings have to be very careful. They don't have umbrellas. They can't deal with storm. And a couple do get taken out while BraveBOVINE attempts to hunt down some of those Colossi. But this game has been a little bit wacky, you could say. So many factories still built up here, not really doing too much. He's building a few Widow Mines every now and then, but that's really about it. Whereas for our Protoss player, he's sitting up there at 68 probes. Maybe a couple more would help out, but what he does have is a very powerful force, and he does need that shield upgrade. There it is, he's got +2. We'd love to see +3, and now he's preparing to hunt down some of these Widow Mines here. The tanks, of course, have 13 range. The Colossi only have 9, so the tanks can actually outrange them by a bit. Especially when they have that extra vision provided by a scan or some Vikings here. But BraveBOVINE, well, I don't know what he's going to do here, because things are starting to look a little bit grim, because finally HearmeROAR is actually starting to get some more units together, but once again, he's not completely maxed out. He needs to be very careful, as again, Colossi being taken down very, very easily by this big group of Vikings. The mines are still here. There's still a few more that can do some more damage, and there they go, dropping down their sentinel missiles on top of a lot of these units that were all clumped up. And BraveBOVINE is, well, he's going to defend quite a lot of this. Unfortunately, some of his Widow Mines have taken his own units out, and he actually, well, for the most part, has killed a lot of those units. A little bit of a counter there from BraveBOVINE. What? This is, I do not even know what is going on right now, guys. This is, we've got, we've got HearmeROAR being a little bit too aggressive with his forces. He needs to max out. He needs some Immortals. We need some, I don't know, we need something to actually be able to soak up some of these Widow Mines. Just, I suppose, some Zealots would be nice. Like, send in a big wave of Zealots and then build up a whole bunch of Immortals or something like that, and then just try and charge in. But he can't really do that at the moment. He's building too many Colossi. I really, this is that stage, guys. When the Terran has a lot of Vikings out, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to build the Colossi. He's like, we've seen HearmeROAR try and position himself so that he can, you know, kill off some of the Widow Mines before he actually moves into battle. But it's just not worth it. There are so many Vikings out right now, and while we can see that our BraveBOVINE is now finally starting to pick up his +3 on weapons and +2 on armor, these Vikings are still quite dangerous here. Now, as we see some Widow Mines getting torn apart by the storm there. Tanks across to the side, just trying to maneuver themselves around to get into position here. The third base is mining quite nicely right now. Finally, BraveBOVINE has got that up and running. His fourth base now across to the side. Let's bear in mind that our Protoss is now mined out at his natural and at his main. The third is starting to look a little bit grim, but his fourth is still going nicely. So is the fifth, of course. It kind of doesn't look like that's proxied anymore now that now that base is there. But I suppose we will kind of turn this into a little bit of a learning game right now, guys. Some of these units are completely useless. These two, these are pretty useless as well. The Stalkers are just not worth it. And, well, I mean, you know, what do we do instead of that, Mr. Duckville? Well, we add in some more Zealots, we add in some Immortals, some Tempest would be really nice right now, actually, just come to think of it. Some Tempest would be brilliant, just to be able to get long-range damage done on these Vikings. And, as you can see, blinking forward to try and kill off some of the Vikings, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get mowed down by tanks, and if you don't get mowed down by them, you're going to get taken out by the Widow Mines as well. So, BraveBOVINE, of course, has also mined out his own natural and the main base as well. So he's not exactly in a fantastic economic position. He doesn't have as much map control as he would like. HearmeROAR is constantly getting vision on where all of his units are. But BraveBOVINE, I mean, at this point of the game, I mean, if he's just very patient and very careful with how he approaches some of these fights, certainly has the potential to actually be able to win this, but I don't know, it sort of rests on This is one of those situations where it's a little bit of my opponent has to screw up so that I can win kind of thing. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now, and HearmeROAR is kind of he's kind of doing that because he's still just consistently throwing away units. Widow Mines have made their way across to the opposite side of the map. They're going to drop down some shots on the probes. Probes are being killed off, and now they are going to retreat. Will they be able to get away? Where's the blink? No blink donut. There it is. Alright, nicely done. Blink finally comes out. Some of the Widow Mines will, I believe did they reborrow? No, they didn't. Okay. So they will just move back home and now reposition themselves out here at the third base. But this game is, well, I don't know, guys. This is just been how daring can BraveBOVINE be, because he's still moving these Widow Mines out. He's looking to take out this base here if possible. He can slowly move across. Needs to bring his Vikings with him to make sure that the Colossi do not cause any problems here. These random assortments of gateway units. There we go, finally. A fleet beacon is in construction. Some immortals are finally being built. Some more Archons are on the way. And once again, needing to be very, very careful here. HearmeROAR just decides to charge straight in. Got the Vikings now coming out, getting a couple of shots off. They will get taken out by the storm though. One lonely Viking survives on 1 health there. And, well, that is the luckiest Viking, I'll tell you what. Widow Mine's going to activate, destroying quite a lot of the units on the ground here, but there are those Zealots. They're going to soak up a lot of the shots, and now Storm coming through, destroying quite a lot of, well, everything that is here, but unfortunately, there are still Widow Mines here. The Observers, where are they? There's one. Alright, so we've got one. Where's Observer Speed? Have we done that yet? No, we haven't. Mr. HearmeROAR is having a little bit of trouble with sort of getting the right sort of things together here. Of course, it is very odd to encounter someone doing this particular style, but as we can see, there are certainly better ways to deal with it. And speaking of which, the Widow Mines have been devastating that base yet again. HearmeROAR now moving through. Is he going to be able to finally make a break on this map here? He's got some immortals. He is going to take down the majority of the defenses here, and this could be it for BraveBOVINE. Again, I would like to see HearmeROAR just back up for a second, chill out, take a chill pill, and get his forces together. You don't want to run into these Vikings, the mines, or the tanks just head on all willy-nilly, because you are going to have a little bit of trouble if that does happen. A couple of shots busting out there on some of those Archons. Now the Zealots will take the shots, and the Archon does actually go down. The Vikings still doing what they can to try and kill off the Colossi. They do get one. And, well, again, why are we not getting just Tempest out right now? Alright, well, he didn't really have the production capabilities for it. He's struggling to mine gas off this fourth base. There are too many Widow Mines there. But, I mean, there's no need to build these Stalkers anymore. Get rid of the Stalkers, chuck them out. We don't care about them anymore. What we care about are Immortals, Tempests, some Archons, and then just basically Zealots to soak up shots. Like, I don't really think there's any need to build anything else other than that. But at the moment, we can see that HearmeROAR is still getting a few more units out. We've got some more Immortals on the way. 3 more are being built up. Finally, we've got some of those babies. And, well, as you can see, probes are having a very hard time mining at this space right here. But BraveBOVINE is going to do a little bit more attacking here, moving some tanks up towards this base. He's going to be able to get some shots going on the Nexus here, but unfortunately doesn't have vision just yet. There we go, now has the vision. He's going to draw his opponent back across the map here. Lots of Zealots are now present. Lots of Immortals here as well. They've got 3-3-3 on their upgrades. Pretty damn good if you ask me, and this should certainly clean up all of these tanks that are left over here as BraveBOVINE is a little bit out of position. The Widow Mines will activate, destroying ridiculous amounts of those Zealots there. The Immortals now coming across. The Burrowed Mines are going to let some shots loose. Keep in mind the mines do not actually trigger the Hardened Shield. I completely forgot to mention that, guys. It doesn't actually trigger it. I do not know why. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but I mean, it helps mech versus Protoss, so let's just keep that as a cool thing. Maybe because it's like a spell and not an actual weapon? Maybe it's because of that, I'm not actually sure. Either way, BraveBOVINE, a little bit out of position, but does salvage it by killing off a lot of the units there. We can see now that HearmeROAR is finally transferring some of these probes across. His third base gone, his fourth base, of course, he's not mining because there are too many mines there. But there are too many mines at the mines. Interesting. Like Dr. Seuss right now. but looking to establish a 5th base here is BraveBOVINE, but not going to happen just now. Too many Immortals and a few too many other stray random units on the ground here for him to be dealing with right now. But we can see that there are 8 Widow Mines at a time now coming out from our Terran player. This guy is going crazy on the mines. We've now lost our 4th base, is it? Yeah, well, 3rd or 4th base, whichever one you want to call it. Now we can see that, well, BraveBOVINE is going to start running out of minerals very, very soon. He's going to push forwards with his mines. He does have an observer here to scan out. Mines will still let some of their shots loose, and they do get quite a bit of damage done. And hunting down one of the observers, very cleverly done by BraveBOVINE. He takes out the observers very, I really, really like that. The mines are going to move out and try and take out this Immortal before it gets too much damage done. There you go. Down it goes. Some Stalkers. Again, Stalkers. Grrr. HearmeROAR. Come on, man. He's going to build up some Stalkers here. HearmeROAR now pushing in yet again. Has those Immortals soaking up the tank fire off to the side. But I mean, see, okay, there we go. He finally does move into position. He'll probably try and just aim down that command center. But unfortunately, not in time. The SCVs are going to go to work trying to protect it. But once again, these units are now segmented off, and the Widow Mines are going to move across. They're going to block off this position here. No going home for you guys, and the Widow Mines will burrow there. And HearmeROAR, while he has taken out his opponent's base, I mean, he still doesn't really have too much mining himself. I mean, he does have this, the 5th base across to the left-hand side. The 6th is there as well, and is mining at an okay pace. But now, as we can see, he's still losing unit after unit, just still straying from the path of picking up some of those actual units that will finish off this game. But this is back and forth at the moment. I mean, both players are making some mistakes here and there, but as we can see, BraveBOVINE is not going to give up just yet. This guy has still got a little bit of gas in the bank. He's still got how many Widow Mines on the map? 23 Widow Mines on the map, if you please. He is going crazy with all these Widow Mines right now, guys. But he is going to send a couple up towards this 5th base and is going to knock down some of those probes. Down they go. Stalker's still popping out here from HearmeROAR. He well, he should be able to deal with Vikings, but that's not a trouble for him at the moment. There's just how can he deal with all these mines and the tank count as it starts to creep up as well. We've currently got a total of 7 tanks, which in the normal context of things isn't actually that huge, but when you consider that they can clean up those Stalkers very, very quickly, then it could mean a change between life and death. But now the Zealots coming forwards. I am very worried about the units of BraveBOVINE right now. Again, losing some of the tanks to friendly fire of the Widow Mines, but there are still so many mines that, well, HearmeROAR is still scared of actually moving out right now. It's like a protective shield of Widow Mines. That's what we've got right here. But more Stalkers. See, this is a point where Blink is actually going to be really useful. A lot of the time when we talk about Terran mech versus Protoss, the ways to abuse it include being very mobile, trying to maneuver around some of units, take some of these Stalkers, wander them down this direction, and go back to the start of the game and blink them in here, try and get them inside the production facilities, cutting off any kind of resupply that the Terran may be able to bring. But, I mean, unfortunately, he has not been going in that direction just yet, so BraveBOVINE is going to still continually get these units out. These Stalkers, again, are not really that useful in the context of things at this sort of stage of the game. We'd still love to see some Tempest popping out. We'd love to have, you know, some more Archons, some Zealots to soak up shots and stuff like that, but none of that so far. So BraveBOVINE, is he seriously doing this? He's going to slowly lead folks across. And now we get Widow Mines dropping out some shots against the Stalkers and all of the rest of the units there. And again, hunting down the Observer. Very nicely done by BraveBOVINE. He's even going to repair up some of these mines. I do like that. That is very cute. More probes dying off there as well. And this Nexus is probably going to go down in a second. Burrowing once again, no detection. There it is. Is he going to be able to take it out again? I think BraveBOVINE, there he goes. Takes out one of the observers, looking for the second one as well. It's down at the back, but the Widow Mines have been disposed of for the most part, and we can see that once again, BraveBOVINE just diving deep, trying to get rid of all of those pesky observers that are out on the field. But he has lost a lot of his Vikings as a price for that. Now we can see it's getting a little bit too far forwards here. The splash damage really helping out BraveBOVINE. The The tank is almost taken out. Yeah, gets a double kill on the Immortals there. Actually gets a triple kill in the end of it. And this game just continues on. Units are being thrown away by the handful by HearmeROAR, building all these really inefficient stalkers yet again. But, I don't know, BraveBOVINE is still sticking with it. He's mining off this base, just barely. He's almost mined out across his side of the map, in fact. The only base that remains that he really can take is this one. We highly doubt he's ever going to be able to get this one. It's a little bit too far out of position to sort of move your units in that direction. And he's already been pressing on this side so far, so we'll see that BraveBOVINE is again trying to get some of his units together. More Widow Mines now popping out. We've got some more Vikings on the way, just in case there is a resurgence of those Colossi, or in case he needs to hunt down some more of these. I would love an observer kill count right now. This is like one of those. There's a Terran player that like always kills observers. I can't remember who it is. Is it Tasia? Maybe it's Tasia. But there are a few Terran players who are always just killing observers constantly, and it's insane as a Protoss player to be continually losing your observers. But I mean, in this kind of game, I mean, what isn't insane? We've had a player who's been bringing out truckfuls of these Widow Mines, and now he's going to start to lose a couple of them to the storm. So be careful how far he pushes over. As another observer dies down. I can go to the Units Lost tab, can't I? Actually, I can't remember how to do it. I mean, nothing's going to happen. Let's, Units Lost panel. Shift L. There you go. That's the first time I've used that, guys. 144 Widow Mines have been lost across this game. 148 Zealots have been lost. 121 SCVs. This game has been insane. The most Widow Mines you will ever see in a Terran versus Protoss. I think this game takes the cake for that, because it certainly has gone that way. Some Marines from the start of the game have come across. They're going to take a storm and a couple of swipes with some side blades to the face. But I don't know, guys. This is starting to get a little bit silly. If BraveBOVINE actually takes this base and can get mining again, this is going to be just, I don't know, it could be over for HearmeROAR, because, I mean, he's not going to have the capability to produce some of the units that he actually needs. Like, the Tempest would be lovely right now. If he had a fleet, a golden armada right now of Tempest, this game would be over. But unfortunately, we have these pesky stalkers that are just dying for nothing. Blinking away, very cute there from HearmeROAR. Once again, some more Widow Mines will die off. BraveBOVINE slowly seeking up this Nexus. Eventually this will die down if that's not stopped as quickly as possible. Colossi. HearmeROAR, please. Dude, come on. Like, I don't know, man. Oh dear. I think he's banking on the fact that, you know, hoping that his opponent won't have the Vikings to be able to deal with the Colossi, but let's just bear in mind that Colossi still get taken out by tanks and Widow Mines easily anyway, so I'm not really sure. I'm gonna say it one more time. Tempest, guys. Tempest. Against this composition. Tempest. Now, as we see BraveBOVINE dropping down some mules here on this base, he does have an orbital command protected off to the side. A little bit of a run distance here for these mules. Right now, as you can see, probes, stalkers, all the things are now starting to come out, hunting down those observers yet again. Down they go. And once again, no more detection left over for our Protoss player. And soon, he's going to have no production to be able to build anymore, because he's building, again, a couple more Colossi. Let's look at the unit count right now. 5 tanks, 7 Widow Mines are left over for BraveBOVINE. He has a bank of gas built up. 2,000 gas is still available for him right now. So he can certainly build up some more units if he is able to get the minerals coming in. But HearmeROAR has said no, we're not going to have that happen. I'm going to camp out here, and I don't know. We're looking for a draw. I mean, for HearmeROAR, he's now playing for a draw. He can't bust this force of units. He can't get in on all of these tanks and the Widow Mines that are there. There were a couple of Vikings, but they're now gone. But with all of this, you can't actually bust in on that. There's no way it's going to happen. And I mean, this is a point where possibly I would be taking a command center. Where can you land it? Like over here. dropping in a few mules on this base, stealing some of the minerals, and then maybe trying to build some more units with that, but I don't know. 11 winter mines are out on the field at the moment. There's still one back here, so that's a little bit unfortunate. And now BraveBOVINE going to move across, trying to defend his base against these Colossi that are coming out. The winter mine will take care of some of the units. Now the Stalkers blink back. Tanks are going to... No, they're not going to siege up. He's going to stay here. He's going to protect his investment on this base. And I mean, as we said before, if he keeps that base alive, that's pretty much a good situation there for BraveBOVINE. And now HearmeROAR has decided it's time to kill off my opponent's base, but of course it is a Terran, so we're going to get some floated factories roaming across the map here. And they will try and make their escape as the Colossi unfortunately cannot headbutt buildings, as much as I would love that to be the case. Now we can see that HearmeROAR is probably in that frustrated position of, God damn it, I need some air units, some anti-air units right now. He's going to build some Stalkers. I mean, I think he had gas for one Tempest there. Let's just keep that in mind. BraveBOVINE now, though, mining off of all of the building of the minerals that are there. Factories are going to head back in and drop down and build a couple of units, perhaps a couple of tanks or something like that. Maybe some more winter mines. Who knows? It seems to be the favorite thing of BraveBOVINE right now. I think perhaps heading off somewhere to build a couple of cloaked banshees. Hint, hint. Would be also pretty cool. Or actually, I suppose in this case there are two observers out on the map, but the factories will slowly make their way across to the left-hand side. This base has still got a little bit of minerals left over here for HearmeROAR if he decides to come back. But now there's actually a decent count of Stalkers out. This could get very interesting if this comes to a trade at the end. If neither player wants to finish up with a draw, this could get very interesting. One probe slowly mining off that assimilator. Unit count sitting at 11 winter mines, 15 SCVs, 2 Vikings, 5 tanks for the Terran player BraveBOVINE. Meanwhile, for our Protoss, he's got 1 Zealot, 1 Immortal, 1 Archon, 4 Colossi, 14 Stalkers, which could be the make or break of this game, and 2 Templar. So this is gone very, very crazy right now. We're up to the 58th minute of this game. Certainly a very wacky game. At times a little bit tedious because of how the two players have gone about their particular styles. But I mean, it's I suppose it's a bit of a lesson for our, especially our Protoss player. HearmeROAR just needs to, there are a few times he attacks without being 200 maxed out. He's continually built some of these very kind of useless units at the end of the game against a mech player. And as you can see, more tanks now being built up by BraveBOVINE. He's got the money, he's got the gas, he's in right now, and he's going to build up his forces. HearmeROAR needs to get in here and do something ASAP, but now we have a wall being built up. Very clever stuff here from our Terran player. There is basically a wall of no admission right now, where the Protoss is going to have a very hard time getting in. So he is going to wisely head up towards the northern side of this base, come in and establish his dominance here, taking out some of the SCVs and the mules that are here as well, and then should be able to long range down the command center. Vikings off to the side will slowly deal some damage towards the Colossi, but he needs to keep those Vikings alive. Those are very important right now. And in fact, BraveBOVINE going to build a couple more. Yeah, okay, this game is over. I think BraveBOVINE is going to win, because either HearmeROAR is going to 1A into this and just die, or he's slowly going to lose the Colossus. And once those are dead, then you can switch into basically pong-pong mode on the tanks and then just move forwards and easily take all of these units out. So losing a few more Stalkers there, needs to be very careful, but now 4 Vikings are out. No blink for these Stalkers. What are they going to do? The Templar looking for a storm. They do get one off, gets a little bit of damage done. There is still 5 SCVs here to repair if needed, but I don't know, man. I don't know, Kev. We're going to have the orbital command drop down. Is it going to? No, it's not going to drop down just yet. But there are now 8 Vikings out on the map. This is pretty much done right now. There is no way for HearmeROAR to win this. He has to play for a draw. Has to play for a draw. But it's not going to happen. I really don't think there is any way that he's going to be able to win this. As more Vikings have now come out. tanks. Here we go. I think this may be the last hurrah. The Templar gets taken out before it gets a Storm. Colossi have been annihilated, and so has the last Observer. That is it for HearmeROAR. I believe we'll have the Vikings chasing down those Colossi. Should be able to just unsiege the tanks and then just go for it. But no, he's not going to. Why isn't he going for it? Alright, we've got some more Zealots. Some more Zealots are going to come in to the party here for our Protoss player. Okay, we're going to try one more time here for the Terran. Unfortunately, unsieged there. Some of the tanks get annihilated straight away. The Colossi will also be killed off very quickly, but a couple of tanks in the background there should be able to stay alive. The Vikings dropping down, and that is it. No more units out for our Protoss, and that is it, I believe. We've got probes left over. Like, he's going to try and mine. What is this? 70 minerals, 115 minerals. So we can make what? We can make maybe one Colossus? Hang on, there's not even enough for a Colossus at the moment. Hang on, let me think. No, there's not enough for a Colossus here. There's a few more minerals here. Okay, you can get a Colossus out, which means you can get a Tempest out. Oh, hang on, he needs gas. There's no gas. I don't... what? What does HearmeROAR think he's gonna do? I'm tapped out now, guys. I have no idea what our Protoss player thinks what he's going to do now. What has BraveBOVINE going to say here? This has been a great game, indeed. It has been a very crazy game, a very weird composition from our Terran player, a very unfortunate mixture of various sort of defeats in some of the battles there from the Protoss player. But HearmeROAR, I mean, I really hope that instead of... well, I hope he's not mad at this game. I mean, there are certainly some things that could have been changed, and we spoke about some of that before. Of course, heading towards more useful tech like the Tempest, like having more Archons, lots of Zealots to tank the mines, as well as not having the composition that he needed, and having a maxed out composition when he moved through. It was also about battles. We need to have your general sort of situation. If there's a large cluster of mines protecting some tanks at the back, you want to either have Zealots coming in at the front, then Immortals follow them behind, as well as some Templar to storm some of the tanks. Or you want to have Warp Prisms coming in the back, dropping off some units on top of the tanks. So there was just some tactical, and then of course some strategic decision making that unfortunately have kind of thrown this game away for HearmeROAR. And I mean, at this point, BraveBOVINE, I mean, all he needs to do is just scanning to see if there are any more units left over. He needs to... well, I mean, is HearmeROAR... I don't know what the plan is from HearmeROAR, guys. So, some Winter Mines are going to move out. We'll have them taking control of the... well, for a second they had control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. Here we go. Couple of tanks now on sieging. I think all of the tanks should just slowly move out. BraveBOVINE being very careful, I do like that. Just do need to be careful about how you approach this kind of situation. Of course, the Protoss could still have like a couple of hidden Tempests, or you know, some Templar or some Archons somewhere, and that could certainly end the game. Okay, here we go. We've got some Zealots. Warps in some Zealots across to the side. Wants to try and take advantage of the tanks as they have moved out of position right now. But bring the probes. Maybe? Is that what he can do here? I don't know. Takes out one of the tanks. Vikings will drop down. Do not underestimate Vikings on the ground, guys. When they're up against light units, they just tear them apart. It's crazy. Look at that. Taking out the Zealots pretty quickly. That is it. Once again, we're back down to just probes for our Protoss player. We can see the BraveBOVINE trying to find what is going on here. Why hasn't he left the game? Why hasn't he quit or something like that? Are there any more units left over? Is there something going on? Because he still hasn't left the game, but HearmeROAR is probably still just sitting there reeling from the state of this game. And I mean, well, now with the tanks slowly pushing up, there it is, the GG, 108 minutes up on the clock right now for this. I don't know, guys. post in the comments. I know Google Plus sucks, but that has nothing to do with me. Just post in the comments of this video what, I don't know, what you would have done differently if you were the Protoss player, and what you thought of this game. I know it is a bit of a longer one and a bit of a different style, but hey, thought we'd give it a go. Thank you to Sam for sending that one in. What a crazy game. Catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more